How did one joke photo turn into me getting served papers in a public lobby while people watched? Why did my husband stay calm for weeks, then hit me with a legal result that started the same day? I still told myself he was the villain, even as my hands shook holding the documents. My name is Eustacia Hale, and I used to think I was the fair one in my marriage. I was 34 then. I worked in payroll for a construction company. My days were numbers, timesheets, and small mistakes that could make people angry. So I learned how to keep my face calm and my voice sweet. I learned how to make a story sound clean. Caleb was my husband. He was 36. He worked in safety for a transit contractor. He liked rules. He liked plans. He liked to say we should be careful with money and careful with words. I used to tell people he was a good man. Then I started saying he was too much. I said it like it was his fault. The night everything started was a rooftop mixer downtown. It was one of those events where people pretended they were friends because there were string lights and small plates. Caleb's work friends were there. Some spouses came too. I wore a fitted black dress and heels I could not run in. I told myself I deserved to feel seen. Caleb asked if I was cold when we stepped out of the elevator. I said I was fine. He offered his jacket anyway. I did not take it. I wanted him to look like he did not control me. That was how my mind worked by then. I still think I was right in that moment. Noah Granger was there. He was Caleb's friend from years ago. Noah always smiled like he was in a photo, even when nobody had a phone out. He sold houses. He liked attention. He greeted me first and said I looked amazing. Caleb stood next to me, but Noah's eyes stayed on me. I liked that. We got drinks. Caleb held his soda like he was at a work meeting. I held my cocktail like it was proof I had a life. People moved in clusters. Every few minutes someone asked what we did for work, like it was a game. Caleb answered politely. I added little jokes to make the group laugh. I did it fast before Caleb could speak. Someone mentioned Caleb was strict about safety. I said he was strict about everything. I said he made even a fun weekend feel like a checklist. People laughed. Caleb's mouth tightened for half a second. He did not correct me. He just looked toward the street below, like he was counting cars. I told myself he deserved it. He had been distant at home. He had been tired. He had asked too many questions when I was late. I said that was insecurity. I said that was his problem, not mine. That night, I wanted the group to see him as the difficult one. Later, Noah pulled out his phone and said we needed a group photo. People moved close. The rooftop was crowded. I could smell perfume and grilled food and summer heat. I stood near the center because I liked being near the center. Noah stepped behind me. He said it would be funny if he posed like a movie poster. His hands came to my waist. One hand rested on my hip area, like he was guiding me into place. It was not a long moment, but it was clear. It was also the kind of touch that felt like a small dare. I laughed loud. I did it first so nobody could call it wrong. I said it was just a joke. I leaned back a little, like I was comfortable. I did not look at Caleb. Then I saw Caleb. His eyes were on Noah's hands. His face went blank. It was not rage. It was more like a door closing. His posture changed. He did not move forward. He did not pull Noah away. He did not say anything sharp. He just watched. I felt a quick heat in my chest. It was fear, but also anger. I hated that I felt caught. I hated that I felt like I needed to explain myself. So I decided I would not explain. I decided he would be the one who was wrong. The photo happened. People cheered. Someone said we looked like a fun couple. I said Noah was just a friendly guy. I said Caleb was lucky to have such loyal friends. I said it with a smile, like I was giving Caleb a gift. A few minutes later, Caleb asked if we could talk somewhere quieter. I said we were fine. He asked why Noah touched my waist like that. I said he was being dramatic. He said it looked disrespectful. I said he was jealous and embarrassing me. I said it was a joke and he always tried to ruin fun. Caleb looked at me for a long second. He asked if I would ask Noah not to do it again. I said I would not start a scene. I said he should calm down. I said he should stop acting like my father. He did not raise his voice. He did not grab my arm. He did not threaten anyone. He just nodded once. Then he walked to the bar, paid our tab, and told me we could leave whenever I wanted. It made me feel small in a way I did not want to feel. I wanted him to fight so I could win. He did not fight. I stayed another 30 minutes. I laughed more than I should. I talked louder than I needed. I let people see me shine without him. Noah stayed near me. He asked if Caleb was always so serious. I said he was worse at home. I said I carried the marriage on my back. I said it like a brave confession. My phone buzzed once. It was a message from Evan Mercer at work. He wrote that he hoped I was having fun. He added a small flame emoji. I did not reply in the open. I turned my screen down and slipped the phone into my bag. I told myself it meant nothing. It always started as nothing. When I finally left, Caleb was already by the elevator. He asked if I was ready. I said yes. In the car, he drove like he always drove, both hands on the wheel, speed steady. He asked if I understood why he was upset. I said he was making a big deal out of a joke. He said he felt humiliated. I said he humiliated himself by being so sensitive. At home, the kitchen light was too bright. I kicked off my heels and looked at myself in the dark window. Caleb went to the sink and rinsed his glass. He did not say he loved me. He did not ask for a kiss. He went toward the hallway. I followed him and asked why he was acting cold. He asked why I needed Noah's hands on me to feel happy. I said he was twisting things. I said I could not control other people's jokes. I said he should trust me. He asked if I would post the photo online. I said I could do what I wanted. Caleb took his phone out. I saw a calendar reminder on his screen. It said, downtown 9:15 a.m. That was all. No other details. He noticed my eyes on it and turned his phone face down. He said he was tired and wanted to sleep. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. I went to our bedroom first. I expected him to follow. He did not. I heard his steps stop near the guest room. The door closed softly, not slammed. That calm sound made me angry. I told myself he was punishing me. I told myself he wanted to make me feel guilty. I told myself I would not give him that power. In the middle of the night, I got up for water. The house felt too quiet. In the hall, I saw light under the guest room door. I paused. I heard a soft tapping sound, like keys. Then there was a small chime, like a laptop notification. I should have walked away. Instead, I pushed the door a little and looked in. Caleb sat on the bed with his laptop open. His face was blank again. On the screen, I caught a flash of a message bar. It said, "File uploaded successfully." Then he closed the laptop fast, not panicked, just quick. He asked what I needed. I said I was getting water. He said, okay. He did not invite me in. He did not ask me to stay. He turned his lamp off like it was the most normal thing in the world. I stood there for a second, holding my cup. My heart beat hard. I wanted to shout. I wanted him to explain. I wanted him to chase me and beg me to be kind. But he did none of that. He just lay down, facing the wall, like I was a stranger in my own house. The next morning, I woke up alone in our bed and told myself it was his choice. I stared at the ceiling and felt a sharp pride. I thought, good, let him sulk. Let him learn that I do not bend just because he feels offended. In the kitchen, the counter looked too clean. Caleb had already left. His mug was gone. My mug was on the other side, like a small borderline. I opened the fridge and saw my lunch container move to the front. It felt like he had touched my space without asking, even though it was our house. That was how I twisted things. I could make any small act feel like a control move. I checked my phone. The group photo was already in a chat thread from the rooftop. Someone wrote that we looked fun. Someone added laughing emojis. I zoomed in. Noah's hand on my waist was obvious. I felt my stomach flip. For 1 second, I imagined Caleb showing that photo to people and saying, "Look what they did to me." Then I imagined people saying he was overreacting. I decided that second option would be the only option. I opened my social app and posted a cropped version first. I chose a frame where my smile looked bright and Caleb looked serious. I wrote a caption about friends who know how to have fun. I added a small line about some people always need to control the mood. I did not name Caleb. I did not have to. People in my circle knew. Within minutes, likes came in. Danny shared it with her own comment about men who can't take a joke. That made me feel safe. I told myself the public was on my side. I told myself I was protecting myself. I was really building a wall so I would not have to face what I did. At work, the open plan office buzzed like always. Printers, keyboards, small laughter, someone complaining about coffee. I sat at my desk and opened payroll spreadsheets. Numbers calmed me. If I could keep everything neat on a screen, I could pretend my life was neat too. Evan Mercer walked by my desk around mid-morning. He leaned on the divider like he belonged there. He asked if I had fun last night. I said it was great and that I deserved it. He said I looked like I needed more nights like that. I said Caleb made everything heavy. Evan said some men hated seeing a woman confident. I swallowed his words like medicine. Priya Shah stopped by later with a stack of files. She asked if things were okay at home because people were talking. I said Caleb was being weird and dramatic. I said he was acting jealous over nothing. Priya said public posts could make things worse. I smiled and told her she worried too much. I said I could handle my own marriage. At lunch, I went to the break room and scrolled again. More comments came in. A woman from Caleb's work wrote that he looked mad and should loosen up. Another person wrote that Noah was bold. I laughed out loud, a little too loud. I wanted everyone to hear me laugh, like it proved I was fine. Then I got an email from HR. The subject line said they wanted a quick word. My chest tightened. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself they probably needed something about payroll changes. Still, I felt heat in my face. I hated being summoned. In the HR meeting room, the air felt colder. The HR manager, Linda, sat with a neutral smile and a notepad. She asked how I was doing. I said I was good. She asked if I had posted anything online about coworkers or workplace issues. I said I posted a fun photo after work. She said some staff felt uncomfortable because my caption hinted at a controlling spouse, and people were linking it to a colleague in another department. She said the office did not want personal conflicts spilling into the workplace. I tried to look offended. I asked why my private life mattered. Linda said it mattered if it caused disruption. She asked if I was safe at home. That word, safe, gave me an idea. It was not a good idea, but it was useful. I told her Caleb was not violent, but he was emotionally intense. I said he could be cold and punishing. I said he asked too many questions and made me feel like I was always under review. Linda asked if I wanted resources. I said I just wanted people to stop gossiping and to respect my boundaries. Linda said she would document the conversation. I nodded like a victim doing the brave thing. When I walked out, Evan waited near the hallway like he knew. He asked what happened. I said HR was being annoying because people could not mind their business. Evan said HR was probably worried for me. He said I should keep notes about Caleb's behavior. I looked at him and felt seen. That feeling mattered more than truth. That evening, I arrived home later than usual on purpose. I wanted Caleb to wonder. I wanted him to ask, and then I wanted to accuse him of controlling me. It was a pattern. I created the trap and then blamed him for stepping near it. Caleb was in the kitchen when I came in. He was cutting vegetables with slow, careful movements. The TV was off. The house felt staged, like a waiting room. He asked how my day was. I said fine. He asked why I was late. I said work was busy. He nodded and said okay. That should have calmed me. It did not. I needed him to react so I could feel powerful. I asked why he slept in the guest room. He said he needed space to think. I said he was punishing me. He said he was protecting his peace. I rolled my eyes and said he was acting like a victim. He asked if I would remove the post. I said no. He asked if I understood how it made him look. I said he made himself look bad by being stiff and jealous. He said he felt mocked. I said he was trying to control how other people saw him, and that was his insecurity. He did not argue back. He just rinsed his knife, dried his hands, and walked past me. That calm again. That calm felt like a threat, even though he did nothing threatening. I followed him to the hallway and asked what he was doing. He said he was going to sleep. I asked if he was really going to keep acting like this. He said he was not going to fight with me. He said he would only talk when I could speak with respect. I laughed and told him respect had to be earned. He went into the guest room and closed the door. I stood outside and stared at the wood like it was insulting me. After a minute, my phone buzzed with an HR follow-up email. It said they needed documentation if personal conflict continued to affect the workplace. The word documentation made my skin prickle. Later, when the house went quiet, I heard a faint sound from the guest room again. A tiny beep, like a recording app starting. Then, the soft tap of keys. I pressed my ear to the door, annoyed at myself for caring. I told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself he was trying to build a case against me, like I was some kind of criminal. I walked back to my room and opened my phone. Evan had sent a message asking if I was okay. I typed that Caleb was playing mind games and making me look crazy. Evan replied that I was not crazy, that I was just waking up. I stared at that line, and I felt a cold comfort. In the dark, I tried to sleep, but my mind kept replaying Noah's hand on my waist and Caleb's blank face. I told myself it was just a joke. I told myself I did nothing wrong. Still, my heart beat fast, like it knew the truth before I did. By Friday, the photo had its own life. People at Caleb's job had seen it. People at my job had seen it. Strangers liked it because it looked like a good joke. I told myself that made it harmless. If the crowd approved, then it could not be wrong. That was my logic. My mother's birthday dinner was that night. She chose a family restaurant with long tables and loud music. The kind of place where waiters squeezed past chairs and everyone talked at once. I dressed like I was going out, not like I was going to sit with family. Danny said I should. She said I should remind Caleb that I was not his property. Caleb asked if Noah was coming. I said my mum invited whoever she wanted. Caleb asked if I could keep it calm. I said he was the one who made things tense. He looked at me for a second, then looked away. We arrived early because my mother loved being the host. She hugged me tight and said I looked beautiful. She barely touched Caleb's shoulder like he was a coworker. Caleb smiled anyway. Mila held his hand and stayed close. Her eyes moved across the room like she was checking exits. Danny came in with a big bag and loud energy. She kissed my cheek and said she was proud of me for not letting a man tell me how to live. Caleb asked Danny how she was. Danny answered short and turned away. I liked that. It felt like a team. Noah arrived 10 minutes later, wearing a fitted jacket and a grin. He brought my mother flowers. My mother acted like he was a celebrity. Caleb's jaw tightened, then relaxed. He shook Noah's hand. Noah said something about the rooftop being a great time. Caleb nodded once. I watched Caleb's face and waited for anger. He did not give me any. More relatives arrived. My mother's friends arrived too, which turned it into a show. People sat and stood and swapped seats. Phones were already out before the appetizers came. It felt like a stage, and I stepped onto it like I owned it. At the table, I took the center seat near my mother. Caleb ended up 2 chairs away. Danny sat between us like a wall. Noah sat across from me, facing Caleb. Mila sat next to Caleb, quiet, with her napkin folded too neatly. My mother raised her glass and started making speeches. She said she loved strong women. She said she was proud of her daughter for not shrinking. She looked at Caleb when she said it, like it was a lesson. People laughed. I smiled and touched my hair, like I was the hero of the story. Caleb asked if we could focus on my mother and not on us. I said nobody was focusing on us until he got tense. Danny leaned toward the group and said Caleb always took things too seriously. Noah said Caleb needed to relax. I said Caleb had always been like that. I said he acted like fun was a threat. Caleb asked what I meant. I said he watched me like a security camera. I said he made me explain my life. I said he treated me like a risk. I spoke clearly so the table could hear. I wanted witnesses. I wanted the story set in stone. Mila looked down at her plate and stopped eating. Caleb put his hand on her back for a second, gentle. He asked Mila if she wanted more water. She nodded. He signaled the server without drama. That calm kindness made me feel more guilty, so I pushed harder. When the main food came, the room got louder. A cousin asked about the rooftop photo. Danny pulled it up fast. She showed it around like it was a trophy. People laughed again. Someone said Noah looked like he was guarding me. Someone joked that Caleb should learn from Noah. Noah stood up and said we should recreate the joke for my mother's birthday. He said it would be funny for a picture. I pretended to hesitate. I looked at Caleb and raised my eyebrows like I was testing him. Caleb did not tell me no. He just looked tired. I stood. Danny stood too. Danny guided Noah behind me like a director. Noah put his hands on my waist again, a little lower than before, like he wanted to show he was fearless. I laughed loud and leaned back a little. Phones lifted from all angles. I heard the camera shutters and the small chime of people recording. Caleb did not shout. He did not stand up and pull anyone away. He stayed seated. He watched, and his face went blank again. That blank look scared me more than anger would have. I could not twist blank into crazy. I could twist anger. After the photo, I sat down, like nothing happened. My mother clapped and said we were adorable. Danny said Caleb needed to stop being so fragile. I added that Caleb acted like my body was his business. I said I could not even laugh without him judging it. Caleb asked me to step outside for a minute. I said no. I said he would not isolate me and talk down to me. I said he always tried to corner me when he wanted control. I said it in front of everyone, so he could not deny it. That was my trick. If I said it first, people believed it. Caleb looked at the table and then at my mother. He asked my mother if he could take Mila home early. My mother said Mila could stay. Caleb said Mila looked tired. My mother said Caleb was always looking for problems. Danny nodded like she agreed. Caleb asked Mila what she wanted. Mila whispered that she wanted to go home. He stood up slowly. He told my mother happy birthday. He thanked the server. He placed cash on the table for his share, neat and flat, like a routine. He asked me if I was coming. I said I was staying. I said he could not tell me when to leave. He nodded once, then took Mila's hand. Mila did not look at me. That hurt, but I told myself it was Caleb's influence. I told myself he was turning her against me. That story saved me from the truth. As Caleb walked away, Noah raised his glass and tried to make it playful. Someone called after Caleb and asked if he was okay. Caleb did not answer. He just kept walking, steady, lawful, quiet. A minute later, I saw Caleb's phone light up on the table edge where he had set it for a second. There was a missed call with no caller ID. Then the screen showed a reminder that said, "Meeting personal." It disappeared fast. I pretended I did not see it. Danny asked if I was okay. I said I was fine and that Caleb was being dramatic again. My mother said Caleb loved playing the victim. People nodded and ate and laughed, like we had done something brave. But my stomach felt tight. The noise in the restaurant felt far away now. I could still see Caleb's blank face in my mind, like a closed door I could not open. I told myself I had won the night. Still, when I went to the bathroom and looked at my reflection, my smile did not look real anymore. Monday came with a clean sky and a heavy house. Caleb still slept in the guest room. He still did not yell. He still did not chase me. That calm felt like a wall I could not climb. In the kitchen, he moved around me like I was furniture. He poured cereal for Mila. He packed her lunch with the same care he used for his work bag. He asked Mila if she had gym class. She said she did. He said he would put sneakers in her backpack. He asked if she wanted apple slices. She nodded. I watched them and felt a strange mix of anger and fear. I wanted Caleb to slip. I wanted him to show something ugly so I could point to it and say, "See, I was right." But he kept his voice even. He asked me if I could pick Mila up after school. I said yes, like I was doing him a favor. He said thank you. That simple word made my chest tighten. I told myself he was acting nice to make me look bad. At my office, Evan found me near the printer. He asked how the weekend went. I said, Caleb ruined my mum's dinner with his mood. Evan said Caleb sounded childish. I said Caleb liked attention when he was upset. Evan said I deserved peace. He said I should not feel guilty for wanting to breathe. I knew what he meant. I did not say the word. I just nodded and let the meaning sit between us. He touched my elbow for a second when nobody looked. It was small. It was still wrong. I told myself it was harmless because it was small. That afternoon, I sat in the school pickup line with my window down. Cars idled and crept forward. Parents stared at phones. Kids ran out in groups. I saw Mila come out slowly, holding her jacket. When she got into the back seat, she looked tired. She asked where Dad was. I said Dad was busy. She asked why Dad slept in the other room. I told her he was upset and being stubborn. I said he wanted to punish Mommy with silence. Mila frowned and looked out the window. I felt a quick sting. I knew I should not put that on her, but I wanted her on my side. I wanted a witness who would not challenge me. We drove to the park because I did not want to go home yet. The park had a playground and a small walking path. The air smelled like cut grass and wet dirt. Mila ran to the swings and started moving her legs fast. I sat on a bench and checked my phone. Danny had sent me the restaurant photo. She wrote that Caleb looked like a funeral guest. She said I should post it and call it Mood Killer. I smiled at the message, then felt sick. I did not post it, not because it was wrong. I told myself it was because I was smarter now. A few minutes later, Caleb called. His voice was calm. He asked if Mila was with me. I said yes. He asked if she had eaten. I said she would eat later. He asked what time she did homework. I said after dinner. He asked what time she went to bed on school nights. I said around 8:30. His questions came one after another. He asked who her teacher was this year. He asked if Mila had any allergies. He asked the name of her dentist. He asked if the school had any forms due soon. He asked if I knew the login for the school portal. I snapped. I asked why he was interrogating me. He said he was not interrogating. He said he wanted to be organized for Mila. I said he was acting like I was unstable. He said he was acting like a parent. I said he was trying to build a case against me. Caleb paused. He asked me not to speak like that in front of Mila. I looked over and saw Mila swinging, eyes on the ground. I said fine. Caleb asked if he could pick her up from the park later. I said he could. He said thank you again, then ended the call. I sat there and felt my hands shake a little. I told myself he was planning something. I told myself he wanted to make me look like the bad one. I told myself I needed to stay ahead. Evan texted me then. He asked if I wanted to meet for a quick drink later to decompress. I said I could not, because I had Mila. He wrote that I could bring her home first and meet after. He said it could be just 1 hour. He said I deserved 1 hour. I stared at the message. I knew it was a line. I still wanted it. Caleb arrived at the park at 6. He walked toward us with a steady pace. He wore a plain jacket and carried Mila's small backpack. He did not look at me first. He looked at Mila and asked if she had fun. Mila said yes. He asked if she wanted to stop for groceries. She said she wanted yogurt. Caleb looked at me then. He asked if I wanted to come. I said no. I said I had work emails. He nodded like he believed me. He did not argue. He did not beg me to come home. As they walked away, Mila turned and waved at me, but her wave was small. Caleb held her hand and guided her gently around a puddle. They looked like a normal pair. That image made my throat tight. I told myself it was fake. I told myself he was performing. I drove to a supermarket and walked in alone. Bright lights, music, people pushing carts. At the checkout, my phone buzzed with another message from HR. It reminded me to keep personal conflict off company channels. I felt heat rise in my face again. When I got home, the house smelled like food, but it also smelled like toner, like a printer had been working. Caleb was in the guest room. The door was half closed. I heard a low hum, like a shredder. Then it stopped. I stood in the hallway and listened. I heard paper moving. I heard a drawer close, and a small click, like a lock. Then nothing. I walked into the kitchen. 2 mugs sat on opposite sides of the counter. Mila's yogurt cup was in the trash. Her homework folder was on the table, open. On the corner of the table there was a sticky note. It said, in neat block letters, "Bring forms." Caleb came out with Mila's bedtime book in his hand. He asked Mila to brush her teeth. Mila nodded and went to the bathroom. Caleb looked at me and asked if I wanted to read with her tonight. I said I was tired. He said okay. I watched him sit with Mila on the couch and read. His voice stayed soft. Mila leaned into his side. I told myself she was only doing that because he was making her feel guilty. I told myself I was still the good parent. I still think that, even now, and it scares me. After Mila went to bed, I went toward the guest room and pushed the door open without knocking. Caleb was at his laptop again. A spreadsheet was open, rows and columns with no clear title. Next to the laptop was a folder that simply said, Household. He closed the screen halfway when he saw me. He asked what I needed. I said I needed to know what he was doing. He said he was organizing. I asked what he was organizing for. He said he was organizing for reality. I laughed and asked if he was threatening me. He said no. He said he was choosing peace and he would stay lawful. He said he would not fight in the house. He said we would only talk in a calm way, or not at all. I told him he was cold. I told him he was trying to scare me with silence. He said he was not trying to scare me. He said he was trying to stop the damage. Then he asked if I had anything to tell him about heaven. My breath caught like I had been slapped, even though he did not touch me. I asked why he said that name. Caleb said he noticed patterns. He said he would not guess anymore. He said he would only deal with facts. I walked out of the room too fast, like speed could erase the moment. In my bedroom, I stared at my phone and felt the floor shift under me. I wanted to call Danny. I wanted to call my mother. I wanted to call Evan. I wanted someone to tell me Caleb was wrong. Instead, I lay in the dark and listened to the quiet house, and for the first time, the quiet did not feel like a sulk. It felt like a plan. On Tuesday, I started watching Caleb like he was a stranger renting a room in my house. The calm questions about Mila had turned into quiet routines I could not interrupt. He woke up early. He made breakfast. He packed lunch. He wrote things down. He did not ask me for emotional talks. He did not try to fix us with a hug. He acted like feelings were not the point anymore. That made me furious. I went into the kitchen and asked why he was acting like a robot. He said he was trying to keep the house stable. I said the house would be stable if he stopped punishing me. He asked how he was punishing me. I said he slept in the other room and made me feel like a guest. He said he slept there so he would not argue with me at night. I said he was calling me unsafe without saying it. He said he was calling the situation unsafe, not me. That sounded careful. I hated how careful it sounded. I opened a cabinet and saw his mug on one shelf and mine on another. It looked childish, like a silent protest. I called it childish out loud. He said he wanted simple boundaries. I said boundaries were what people made when they wanted to leave, but did not have the courage. He did not answer that. I tried a different angle. I asked about money. For years, we had one rhythm. Bills came in, I paid them, he checked the total, and we moved on. I had always used that as proof that I was the practical one. Now I saw small changes. The power bill had been paid 2 days early. The car insurance draft came from a different account than usual. The grocery budget on our shared app had a note that said, "Limit reached." I asked him if he changed something. He said yes. He said he was making sure essentials were covered first. I asked if he thought I could not handle bills. He said he thought the house needed clarity. I asked what that meant. He said it meant no surprises. That word hit me. No surprises. It sounded like a warning without being a warning. I told him he was hiding money. He said he was not hiding money. He said he was tracking expenses. I said tracking was the same as controlling. He said tracking was the same as parenting and planning. He said adults tracked things. I laughed and said he was talking like a lawyer. He did not smile. He said he was talking like a father. That afternoon, I went to work and acted normal, but my mind kept running. I watched Evan across the office. I wanted his attention, but I also felt angry that he could not fix this. Evan sent me a message asking if I was okay. I wrote that Caleb was acting cold and making me look bad. Evan wrote that Caleb was trying to scare me into obedience. Evan told me to hold my ground. So I did. After work, I stopped at the gym even though I was tired. I told myself I needed to reset. I wanted to be seen again. I wanted to feel powerful again. In the gym lobby, a man smiled at me and asked if I was new. I said yes, even though I wasn't. I liked the fresh start in that lie. When I got home, Caleb's car was backed into the driveway instead of parked forward. It was a small detail. It made me pause. It looked like someone ready to leave fast. I told myself I was being dramatic. Still, I stared at it too long. Inside, Mila was coloring at the table. Caleb was at the counter, rinsing dishes. The TV was off again. The house felt like a place with rules. Mila asked if we could all go to the park this weekend. I said yes quickly, too quickly, because I wanted to sound like the warm parent. Caleb said we would see how the schedule looked. Mila asked what schedule. Caleb said the school schedule and his work schedule. Mila nodded like she understood, but she didn't. She went back to coloring. I watched Caleb's face for any crack. He stayed steady. After Mila went to her room, I followed Caleb into the hallway and asked what he was really doing. He asked what I meant. I said the folders, the notes, the calm voice. I said he was acting like he had already left me in his head. He said he was acting like he did not want a screaming house. I said I never screamed. He looked at me for a second and said, very softly, that I did not need to scream to damage people. That line made my skin prickle. It felt like he was finally naming me without naming me. I tried to flip it. I said he was trying to paint me as abusive. He said he was not painting anything. He said he was observing. I asked him if he was spying on me. He asked why I would assume that. I said because he mentioned Evan's name. I said because he asked about my time. I said because he acted like a judge. He said he was not a judge. He said he was a husband who had been humiliated in public twice. I rolled my eyes and said it was still a joke. He asked if it was still a joke when people at his job teased him. I said if he was embarrassed, that was his issue. He asked if I had apologized even once. I said I did not apologize for being friendly. He went to the kitchen drawer and took out a small notebook. He did not open it in front of me. He just set it down and then slid it back into a different drawer. The drawer made a small click when it closed, like a lock. That sound made my stomach drop, even though I had no proof of what it meant. I walked to the living room and grabbed my phone like it was a shield. I told him I could post whatever I wanted, and he could not stop me. He said I could post whatever I wanted. He said actions had results. I said he was threatening me again. He said he was stating a fact. My mother called me that night and asked if I was still being strong. I said yes, and that Caleb was acting weird. She said he was trying to scare me into submission. She told me to remind him I could leave. Danny texted me a draft caption for a post about men who punish women with silence. I stared at it. I wanted to post it. I wanted the crowd again. Then I heard a sound from the guest room, a soft beep, then another, like something sinking. A moment later, a printer in the hallway closet spit out a page. When I opened the closet, the page was blank. The smell of toner was real, though. It was like the house was producing proof even when I could not see it. I went to the guest room door and knocked hard. Caleb opened it after a second. He looked calm, not surprised. He asked what I needed. I said I needed him to stop acting like a stranger. I said I needed him to tell me what he was planning. He asked why I thought he was planning something. I said because he was too calm. He nodded slowly, like he accepted that. He asked if I had anything I wanted to say before things got more serious. I asked what serious meant. He said serious meant real life, not jokes, not posts, not group laughter. He said serious meant protecting Mila and protecting himself. I told him he was being dramatic. He asked if I thought humiliating him in public was dramatic. I said it was funny. He said it was cruel. I tried to cry then because crying usually worked. My voice shook on purpose. I said he was breaking our family over a joke. He watched me without moving. He asked if I wanted to keep lying to myself. I snapped and asked if he was calling me a liar. He said he was calling the situation dishonest. I stepped closer, looking for a reaction. I said he was weak. I said he was jealous. I said he could not protect me, not even from a joke. He did not flinch. He did not insult me back. He just looked tired, like he had already walked through this in his head. I asked what he was going to do. He said he was done arguing. He said he would handle it properly. My phone kept buzzing that morning, but I told myself it was just work noise. Caleb texted that we needed to meet in the city. He said it was about Mila and next steps. I replied that he was being dramatic. He replied that he would not argue anymore and that we would meet in a public place. I arrived at the office tower lobby and saw him near the security desk. He looked clean and calm, like he was going to a job interview. Ruth Hale stood a few steps behind him, holding her purse with both hands. Tomas was there too, quiet, eyes down. They did not smile at me. I walked up fast and asked why his parents were there. Caleb said he wanted witnesses so things stayed calm. I said he was trying to shame me. He said he was trying to keep it lawful and clear. A man in a plain jacket stepped toward me and asked if I was Eustacia Hale. I said yes, and I rolled my eyes like I was bored. He said he had documents for me. I started to laugh and asked if this was a prank. Caleb said it was not. The man handed me an envelope. My hands felt hot, then cold. I told Caleb he was sick for doing this in public. He said he chose public so nobody could say he threatened me. He said he would not speak over me, and he would not touch me. I opened the first page and saw my name printed in a way that looked final. I told myself it was just papers, just pressure. Then I saw the words that mattered. Divorce, temporary orders, a schedule, rules. I asked what this was. Caleb said he filed properly. He said it was about stability for Mila and boundaries for us. He said the temporary plan started now. He said school pickup days were listed. He said communication had to stay in writing. He said we could not post about each other online anymore. I tried to say he was punishing me over a joke. He said it was not one joke. He said it was a pattern, and he had dates, screenshots, and witnesses. I tried to say he was controlling money. He said the order covered bills and protected the house. He said the court would not care about my captions, only facts. My mother called right then. I did not answer. My throat felt tight. The security guard glanced over as my voice rose, and I forced it down. Caleb asked if I understood the drop-off time for tomorrow morning. I stared at the paper and could not find the words. Ruth looked at me like I was someone she did not know. Caleb nodded once, turned, and walked toward the doors without looking back.